Have you ever felt like you're being bombarded with negative opinions of others? I sometimes definitely feel this way. I feel like people are sharing their own limited vision with me, and I personally do not want to subscribe to someone else's vision. I want to think for myself. And in this video, that's what I would like to unpack. How do you escape the negativity of others, especially if this negativity is coming from someone close to you, someone with whom you want to maintain a relationship, someone whose opinion you hold in high regard? How do you form your own view of this life, one that's tailored to your wants and needs? Hey guys, my name is Polina, if this is your first time on my channel, and I love talking about self-development. We are truly the only ones that stand in the way of our success. Sometimes we might feel like victims, as if someone else is holding our success away from us, but I personally think that's not true. I encourage you to take charge of your life, and in this video, let's talk about the negativity that we absorb from others. So, what do you do when you hear some negative opinion from someone else? How do you build a shield to protect yourself from this limiting vision imposed by someone else? The biggest thing is to recognize that no one on this planet is right. Literally, there are so many things, so many opinions, so many worldviews, so many different philosophies, and none of them are right. There's no single right answer. Maybe in math or physics there is, but in life philosophy, there is no single right answer. The good thing about life philosophy is that we can choose our own beliefs, and we will start looking for examples in the outside world that will support our beliefs. But there are 8 billion people out there, and there are 8 billion perspectives out there. Every single person has their own perspective, and that perspective has been molded by their genetics, their upbringing, their life experience, life situations. Everything is molding that perspective. It's being molded by the books they read, the movies they watch, the social media content they absorb. It's being molded by everything. And that's a very good thing, because you can mold your own. And you know that your own will be right for you, but it won't be applicable to anyone else. Sometimes we encounter older people, more experienced people who have already lived their lives and they think they know everything. But that's simply not the case. Not a single person can know everything there is to know on planet Earth. And we often see that the older generation thinks that there's only one way to do things, and then the younger generation makes a breakthrough and we start using a new technology, or we create a new way of living, or some prodigy comes up with a new engineering solution. There's always some innovation happening in the hands of open-minded people. This idea that you are the creator of your own life philosophy is the most liberating thing ever. So first and foremost, when you hear someone else's negative opinion or negative story, you should remind yourself that is their life perspective. It has nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing. Just because some person X had some negative experience, it does not have any relationship to you or what you are about to do. You should feel free to choose your own life course, and it should not be negatively influenced or discouraged by anyone else. For every single story of failure, you can find a story of success. And sometimes stories of success are even unprecedented. Like, for example, the Wright brothers, when they created an airplane, no one else knew that this was possible. I'm sure that they encountered so much resistance and people telling them that they were absolutely crazy and out of their minds to think that humans can fly. Look at the 21st century. Commercial aviation is a massive industry. There are planes flying all around the world every single second, thousands of planes in the air right as I speak. So I'm sure Wright brothers could have been discouraged by someone else's negative opinion. But they persisted anyways, and their truth finally dominated because they knew that they were experimenting, that they were exploring, that they were innovating, and it didn't matter what someone else was saying about that. I think sometimes this topic can be even harder when the negativity is coming from a person close to you. You might think, oh, this person knows me so well. This person has already lived their lives. This person is intelligent and knows what he's talking about. But in reality, no one can predict the future. No one can decide for you what you're going to think. And ultimately, this choice is yours to make. You can always listen to someone else. You can always think that someone else's opinion is superior to yours. But like I said, in reality, only your opinion about yourself matters. You choose your own truth and you find examples validating your own truth. The best way to combat a negative opinion of a close person is to first, of course, recognize that an outside opinion has nothing to do with you, but then to also find examples that counter that opinion. For example, if a person close to you is saying that, oh, a woman after 30 can never get married and have kids because that's already too late, find examples of women who are past 30 who had gotten married and have wonderful children and wonderful families. There are examples like that 100%. There are women in their 40s who have their first children and get married. There is no age limit on when you can do things. So finding counter examples to counter this negative opinion can be very, very helpful on your path to realizing that this world is so multifaceted that you can't just hold on to one thing and that one thing is the ultimate truth. Find your own truth. You might also think that that person who is sharing their negativity knows what they're talking about. But again, they are just deriving it from their own perspective, from their own life vision, and their life might have nothing to do with your life or your experience or your generation or the time that you live in or the country that you live in. You need to remind yourself of it. I'll give you my own example of how I was combating negativity in my own life. So in the past, I was thinking about applying for my extraordinary ability green card. And I was thinking about my achievements and I started putting a portfolio together and I was quite optimistic about it. However, when I was talking to other people about my idea, they sometimes would get very negative and they would start telling me about all these other people that did the same thing and they got a rejection and then they didn't know what to do. And I was supposed to listen to these stories and I guess feel discouraged. These naysayers would also point out my nationality in relation to a certain political conflict, and they would be like, oh, this will definitely not happen. Maybe you should not look into this. Maybe you should postpone it, play it safe. And I was like, okay, fine. Someone has this opinion, but just because something didn't work out for someone else doesn't mean that I shouldn't be doing anything and that I should postpone my vision and my life. Sometimes we get so discouraged when we hear these stories of other people and how they failed. But to be honest, we don't know the ins and outs of that person. I have no idea what their application looked like. I have no idea who their lawyer was. I have no idea what achievements they had in their pocket. I don't know their thought process. I don't know their approach to life. Maybe they missed a certain deadline. Maybe they didn't put enough effort. I don't know. Why am I getting discouraged by someone else's story? I started looking into examples of people who did succeed. And for me, everything went very smoothly. But imagine what would happen if I had gotten discouraged? That wouldn't have been fair to myself. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And yes, sometimes there is a downside to taking these shots, but at the same time, you have to live your life. And even if my application got rejected, that would also be a part of life and that is also okay. But you shouldn't feel discouraged by someone else's stories. Remember, everyone has their own relationship with the universe. Everyone has their own perspective. Build your own story instead of listening to naysayers and negativity from others. I feel like another topic that has a lot of negativity within it, and it affects specifically women, is the whole biological clock, getting married and starting a family topic. It feels to me like there's so much pressure in society for women to rush into marriages, rush into creating a family, settle for whatever they find right next to them instead of exploring life, taking things as they come, and feeling at peace with themselves. I don't like this rushed approach to things. And I don't think women should be pressured into building families and creating something if they truly don't feel like it, if it's just an exterior pressure that is pressuring them. I feel like women can be bombarded with all these negative opinions like, oh, this might not happen. It's so difficult to find a good guy. Or like, oh my God, it's so hard to conceive after a certain age. What are you thinking? Of course, there's a balance in life. Of course, there's the right time for everything. But that's the key, finding a balance within yourself instead of just following someone else's negative opinion on this topic and rushing into something that you aren't ready for, maybe with a person that's not meant to be your person. It's much better to wait and listen to your intuition and form your own perspective on life. This is a very, very difficult topic to untangle. We can feel like we really are obligated to do something in order for others to approve of us. But the most important thing, if you truly want to live a happy life, is to approve of yourself. And the sooner you start building this very solid foundation within yourself, the sooner you start building your own positive view of life, the sooner you start finding examples that support your positive view of life, the better. We all understand that it's not an overnight process undoing all of these years of negative influencing. So that's why the sooner we start, the better, because we will have more time to build a solid footing. In wrapping this up, I just want to say that if you're currently struggling with someone else's negativity, it's okay. Just remember that that person is not right. No single person is right. Only you decide what's right for you. There is no one else making that decision. If it helps you to limit the contact with that person, of course, do it. Boundaries is a very, very healthy and necessary thing. But at the same time, I'm sure if this is a person close to you, then you would like to maintain a good relationship with them and you want to stay close with them. So in that case, what matters most is how solid you feel inside of you and how unshakable you feel inside of you. Because in that case, even when you are interacting with that person, even if they say something negative, you just tell yourself, this is their perspective, this is their opinion. They have a full right to have their own opinion, but the relationship that they're building with their own universe has nothing to do with me, absolutely nothing. So in that case, you can always just smile and you don't even have to debate with them because in your own self, you know your truth. I hope you all find your own truth and that you're relentless in pursuing your own truth. And thank you for being here with me today. I will see you in my next video, guys.